2 weeks of tennis coming to an end. We are left with two women, Ons and Iga, who is going to take the title and win the US Open. Here we go. Ons on the left, Iga on the right. They have been the two best players this year, and I guess it is pretty fitting they are going to meet in the final here. They're both smiling. It's going to be a great match. Me and Ben will be covering it on the live watch along, so make sure you don't miss it. And probably Iga's going to be favourite coming into it, considering she has beaten Ons Jabeur the last time they played in the Rome final. But anything's possible. And the way Ons has been playing, particularly last night against the in-form Caroline Garcia, you can't write her off. There just simply was not a weakness in Ons Jabeur's game. She had everything, and I think Iga's going to be in for a really tough match if we see the best version of Ons Jabeur. Let's go through the tweets. We've got this one I quite like from Tamani Kariyal saying Iga Swiatek, Ons Jabeur, the two best players in the world in the final of the last Grand Slam of the year. And like I said, it is quite fitting, considering everyone's talking about all of these different scenarios. I know Ben had King Wing Zhen winning the US Open. I went crazy as well and had Leylah Fernandez. I had Pegula in my final. He had Garcia. Everyone was talking about the unknowns. And all of a sudden, we just get the two leading the WTA race in the final. How predictable is that? We've got Vance saying pretty much the same thing as what I've just said there. Saying how it's going to be decided by the best two players of 2022 and the ones who are top two of the race, Iga and Ons. So just echoing that. We have Steve Weissman in saying 3 letters, 2 players, 1 title, Iga versus Ons. I think it's going to be very interesting because, as you know, Iga has a massive following and so does Ons, particularly on our channel. So I'm unsure whether we're going to have more Yalas or more Yazdas in the live chat. I think there's going to be a really close battle with that. I'm sure we get a lot of Polish flags and Tunisian flags flying. And I'm a bit mixed in terms of who I want to win. They're two players I really like. My bracket has gone out the window now. So my heart is torn. I mean, I'm really split down the middle with both of them. In terms of Iga's performance in the last match, she come through Sabalenka. And, well, this is what she had to say. She said, I trust myself on clay and slower surfaces. Here, I just try to accept that sometimes I'm not going to trust myself. It's not something negative. For sure, having doubts is not nice, but I find it motivating to find new skills to get as close to the trust as possible. And we've spoken many times on the podcast regarding the balls they use at the US Open being slightly lighter. Iga is very evident. She's struggling to hold her serve. In the match prior, more or less every single service game she got broken on and was really struggling with it. She's often going long a lot of the times, and I think that is to do with the balls. But she's just adapting. She's trying to find a way to play on these courts in the US Open with the balls. And ultimately, whatever she's doing at the moment seems to be working because she's finding a way in very tough situations. You've got to remember, there's been times this year where Iga has dropped sets. The big one being against Niemeyer, where she had to come back from down a set and also down a break as well in the second. And the most recent one in the last one against Sabalenka. And I think we've got a tweet here what talks about it, because Sabalenka was up a break in the third. And Iga managed to come back, which of course is definitely massively crushing for Sabalenka. I saw her in the press room. She had her cap on, her glasses on, just more or less crying through most of it. And it was really heartbreaking to see because you can see how many times now she's got to a semi-final of a slam and not been able to get it over the line. The same thing happened last year at the US Open against Leylah Fernandez. Also happened at Wimbledon against Pliskova last year. And I'm hoping things can turn around for Sabalenka. But just going on to this, it now means that Iga's extended her winning streak against top 10 opponents to 9. So she's looking good against top 10, which of course Ons fits the bill for. And she also becomes the first Polish woman to reach the US Open final. So it's going to be a massive day for Poland. And they've got some real stars at the moment. We've obviously got Lewandowski in the football. He's a big guy who's banging in goals. In the tennis, you've got Hubie Hurkacz on the men's, and now Iga Swiatek on the women. So, I mean, Poland's got some good sports stars. Moving on to the next one. This is more about Ons now. So, Ons, in her last match against Garcia, she didn't concede a single breakpoint chance to her opponent for the first time in a match this season. We know with Ons, often she'll have second set syndrome, where things go a bit wobbly. She gives away some breakpoint opportunities, often gets broken, sometimes loses the set as well. This just didn't happen in the last one. It was so dominant last night. Me and Ben couldn't believe it. We was talking about it maybe being one of the quickest matches of the US Open. It did pass the hour mark in the end, so it wasn't the quickest, but still, Garcia just couldn't handle her. Ons was serving well. She's finding aces. She wasn't even going to the drop shot too much. I feel everything was in her favour. Even the tennis gods, there was times she was hitting the net cord, it was just bouncing over. And I feel a bit sorry for Garcia, really, because she just didn't get started. And when she did get started and going and warmed up, it was kind of too late because Ons Jabeur had match points. But more on Ons. She's now the 7th female player to reach the final in Wimbledon and the US Open in the same year since 2000. So we've got Venus Williams, Lindsay Davenport, Serena Williams, Justin Henin, Vera Zvonareva, and Angelique Kerber. So she's in extremely good company there with some big names. And that is incredible that Ons Jabeur has been able to do the back-to-back slams of the grass and the hard court in Wimbledon, US Open, get into the final of both. Of course, she did lose the last Grand Slam final she played in against Rybakina. So I'm hoping she's learned from that experience, can put it to one side and give her best tennis here in this final against Iga. And this is what she had to say about it. She said, it feels more real, to be honest with you, just to be in the final again. At Wimbledon, I was kind of just living the dream. Just happy the fact that I backed up the results in Wimbledon and people are not really surprised I'm in the finals. She says that, but I am a little bit surprised. Not because she's not, arguably she has been the second best player this year, but it's more the fact at the US Open, that kind of court, that kind of condition, I wasn't really fancying Ons to have a really deep run. I know me and Ben had her going out relatively early, but she surprised me and she's just shown her class. You can never rule Ons Jabeur out. She has a heart of a lion and a brilliant technical ability, and I think she's got a real good shot in this final now. And I guess that leads nicely to the final. We've got these two, Iga versus Ons, and it's prediction time. I think it's going to be a very, very close match. That is my prediction. I think Ons Jabeur will take the first set. I think Iga will come back and take the second. And the third is going to go all the way to the end. I mean, we're going to get a super tie break to settle it in the third. And unfortunately for Ons, I think Iga is going to take it. She beat her last time they played at Rome. That was in a final. Ons has lost the final recently at Wimbledon in the Grand Slam. Iga, for me, in finals, she's just something else. She's got a proven track record of winning finals. And I'm not sure if we can say the same about Ons Jabeur, especially recently. So on that basis alone, I'm going to be backing Iga to win in 3 sets. But let me know in the comment section, guys, how do you see this one going? But anyway, enough talking from me. Make sure to join us for this match. Me and Ben will be covering it. And of course, if you haven't already, give us a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and hopefully we see you in the live chat. I want to see plenty of Yalas, plenty of Yazdas, and we'll see you soon.